song here. I have a dream, and I believe that you have one too. That's why we're sitting here, right? But the majority of us, having a dream is having something very big and impactful, like changing the world by having a social venture. But for some other people, having a dream is just simple is having a shelter over their head for every night. While we're sitting here in this wonderful and formidable landmark hotel, half of the population of the world, 3 billion people, are living under 2.5 USD per day. And in Vietnam, 70% of the population of 85 million people do not have a proper house over their head every night. And in the same country, thousands of people are losing homes after typhoon and flooding period. And we're looking at these facts and ask ourselves, what is possible to change this situation? And on the other side of the coin, the building and construction industry in the world every year consumes 3 billion tons of raw material, which account for 40% of total human consumption. And worse still, this same industry also play a big part in greenhouse gas emission. So it's not very surprising to know that in order to produce one fine clay brick, it emits 0.6 kilogram of CO2 into the sky, which is why governments in developed countries are trying to limit the use of such material in construction to 30 to 40%. But do you know what is this figure in Vietnam? It is 90%. So again, we look at this figure and ask ourselves, what is possibility in this problem? And as a matter of fate, all 5 of us grew up in the south of Vietnam, which is famous for agricultural products. And one of the prominent resources is coconut tree. This tree is very special for us because it is present in a lot of aspects of our life. But the coconut shell, the very last part of it, is being abandoned. 46% of coconut shells are being used to produce charcoal and activated carbon, which again emits a lot of CO2 into the environment, while the rest are being left wasted on the riverbanks and also contaminate river water with this lignin content. Now, with this lignin content, it's very interesting because this is of all the plants in this planet, coconut shell is the one that has the most concentration of lignin, which is a very valuable chemical compound, which is useful in a lot of industries. But in Vietnam, it just lays there, wasted, and play like a bad guy. So we look at this problem, and again, for the last time, we ask ourselves, what is the possibility in solving this problem? And perhaps these 3 burning questions will just remain how have as a burning puzzle until one day we stumble upon a very interesting idea. And what is it?
Okay, so let's turn challenge into opportunities. So let's take a look at how concrete is made. We need cement, we need sand, we need water, and we need gravel in order to make conventional concrete. So in a research by Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology, we found out that coconut itself can be used as a cost aggregate to replace gravel by the extraction of lignin from the coconut cell in order to produce lightweight concrete. Because of the densities of the concrete is much lower than the conventional concrete, 2,500 to 1,500 kilograms per cubic meter. So we turn that into a green materials. Coconut cell concrete can replace the fine clay brick. And the benefit from it is the reduction of raw materials consumption, imported energy, and the greenhouse gas emissions. We can take a look at the growth trends of the brick consumption in Vietnam from 2010 to 2020. So we can see the increasing percentage of green materials, which is the non-fiber bricks. That is the opportunities for our business to venture into at the moment. So with all of that in mind, so we can provide low-cost housing. We can see in the pictures, this is the sample of the housing constructions with a steel frame and the skeletons in order to support the whole building. And then the panels attached to the frame. And what is special about this structure is that we can detach the panels out of the frame in taking care of needs. So this is very right for the building in the disaster-prone area like Mekong Delta River, which usually is attacked by typhoon and flood. So next, so that's the three core components of ViCoCrete: waste to good, green materials, and affordable housing. Okay, so let's take a look at the value chains of the housing constructions. We start with serving, design, and then sourcing for material and construction. So in order to optimize the value chains, so ViCoCrete will So this is the value chain of our house. So what we come here is that first we collaborate with NGO in order to provide microfinance so that the people at the bottom of the pyramid can access to credit and savings program. And then we can provide technical consulting to the people at the bottom of the pyramid by collaboration with universities in volunteer program for the student. And then our core business as a green materials supplier. So what distinguishes ViCoCrete from the normal conventional business is that we are not merely a material supplier, we are trying to be a total housing solution provider. So this is the market segment, the three market segments: commercial contractor, where we provide quality products with competitive price; and low-income household, we provide total solutions, and we position ourselves as a trusted partner with the people at the bottom of the pyramid to solve their housing challenge. And lastly, the lignin, we provide lignin to the market by extract the lignin from coconut shell. So this is the summary of our propositions, pricing propositions, and social environmental propositions. Okay. So let's move on. Because of the low barriers of the business, so we need to think about how to sustain our competitive advantage. So first, we need to focus on R&D because the low investment in R&D in most developing countries, especially in construction industry. So we take a commitment in innovations. So we will build up collaborations program with local university in order to conduct continuous R&D activities. Some of the bioapplied R&D, like the use of fly ash in concrete, or the use of dry husk, and the use of palm oil ourselves. So what can differentiate ourselves from the competitors? Firstly, the total solution is as earlier mentioned. And secondly, we try to develop a service-based culture in our business. So that is how we are going to run our business. So now let's take a look at how we are going to get out of our business.
So with this business idea, we try to build a financial model that is sustainable and provide with a sustainable profitable growth. Let's have a look at our income statement. Actually, we spend a lot on marketing expenses, which account for 50% of our revenue. Because we are a new player in a very established market, so we need to spend a lot of marketing expenses in the first few years in order to gain access to this market, which in turn explains why EBIT margin is a bit low in the first few years, which is about 4%, but this margin will be able to increase to about 9.5% at the end of year 5. Let's take a look at our profitability. In terms of revenue, we will have a steady income revenue growth after 2 years of operation, while our cost of operating is increasing at a much lower pace, which translates into our steady increase of net income. In terms of liquidity, we also have a very steady free cash flow, and with a cost of capital of about 30%, the payback period is about 2.7 years. To make all this happen, we will commit 10% of the founder's wealth into the social venture and 30% from bank loan, while the other 20% from angel investors, and the rest 50% will be from venture capitalists. And as we have emphasized, our business runs on a three bottom line model: financial, social, and environmental bottom line. Through our business operation, we'll be able to reduce the carbon footprints from the reduction of raw materials as well as the use of clay bricks in construction. And we also have to extract economic benefits from lignin, which is a very valuable compound. In terms of our low-cost housing, we'll be helping people to increase the standard of living and as well as cost saving from our low cost compared to conventional housing technique. With our activities in regions that have frequent disaster, we would help the people to control the damage and therefore save the cost for repayment of houses after every period of flood or typhoon. And we also have to spur innovation in community by committing 8% of our revenue in order to sponsor research and development activities in local universities. So with all of that benefit, we'll be able to extract an SRI of 40:1 at a discounted rate of 12%. All of this will not happen without our committed team. So this is Mr. Duc. He's the director of our social venture, and he's especially interested in developing sustainable community and construction growth. And this is Mr. Wu. He will be in charge of business development manager because he has a lot of experience in marketing activities. And I will be in charge, I'm Zhao, I'll be in charge of operations. This is Jennifer. She'll be in charge of our financial statements. And lastly, this is Miss Thuy Nguyen. She'll be in charge of our accounting. And let us take this opportunity to thank our wonderful mentors who are also present here to support us today. Thank you very much. We all make it here today. Thank you.
Thank you, ViCoCrete. You have some time left, but that's not going to add on to your presentation. Okay, once again, for the team that have not presented, please leave the room, and then Richard can start asking the questions.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good morning. The process to extract the lignin from the coconuts, is that a new process or is that a common process already done?
Actually, it's a fairly common process because lignin is a compound that is very easily can dissolve into base solution. So in this instance, we use NaOH at 5% in order to extract lignin. But because in Vietnam, people are not aware of the value of this compound in coconut shell. That's why it is wasted into coconut shell.
My question is, if you look at your financial statements, the lignin is, I mean, there's so much profit in the lignin, much more than the concrete, no? Do the buyers of lignin in Vietnam, do they get it from outside or do they also get it from this process?
At the moment, the paper production industry, because they use a lot of cellulose in order to produce paper, so they expect a lot happening at the moment. But at the moment, there is no, or to our knowledge, there is no any business that extract lignin from coconut shell.
Okay, where do they get their lignin?
They get the lignin from paper production industry.
Are there buyers of lignin in Vietnam? There is a market for the lignin.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the technology? And you mentioned this was developed in a university. Is this currently being used in construction anywhere in the world? What kind of tests have been done on it? And what kind of certification do you need to get before you can market this material?
As you can see, I just hand over to you the real coconut shell concrete that we have been incorporating with our arisen to produce it. So this is a real production. So this is a real product, and we have achieved commitment to further develop in the future.
And actually, the building technique, it is quite established technique in the world, and people use lightweight concrete to create that kind of structure, but the only difference is that they do not use a lightweight concrete made from coconut shell. Actually, there are a lot of types of lightweight concrete.
So the coconut shell method has never been used before anywhere worldwide?
As far as I know, it is being researched by other universities in the world as well. One in India, but for Vietnam, the university has successfully incorporated coconut shell into concrete.
And in addition to that, our guys also have been able to bring the product in as well. So this is, in addition to that, our advisor have been able to patent the product in as well. So this is a promising, product that have been getting attention from the local government as well.
Thank you.
I'd just like to clarify the cost factor of the aggregate, this substitute aggregate, compared to traditional aggregates. Am I correct in understanding that it's quite a bit more expensive? Or not? This aggregate, using the coconut shell instead of rock, is the coconut shell more expensive, resulting in a more expensive product?
Based on our research, the cost of the traditional concrete is actually is higher than the one that is made from coconut shell concrete. And based on our latest research, the market price for 1 metric ton of normal concrete is 1 million Vietnam dong, but by the price for 1 metric ton of coconut concrete, shell concrete is 700,000 Vietnam dong. And to add on to that, in our business model, we'll be able to make use of the availability of raw material at the site. Whereas for conventional concrete, they have to transport the stone from the other part of the country. So the transportation will increase the cost of the raw material as well.
Very good. You anticipated where I was going. Thank you.
So it sounds like the government has promoted unfired bricks for 10 years, and there's 10% of the market currently there. Help me understand how a new type of unfired brick with coconut will convince people so quickly that you can build 2,000 houses in the first year.
Actually, in the first year, we will target into the commercial contractor because they would have a big project in low-income houses in the Mekong Delta. So based on that, we will develop into the bottom of the pyramid market in later years.
So have you done surveys, or do you have any background that has shown that people will accept this type of housing and move into it?
Actually, as far as we know of a company who has sponsored the building of such house from coconut concrete. In order to, the company is also interested in testing out this technique, and this is Toyota. So people are very interested in this new technique because of the availability of coconut shell in the Mekong Delta.
And in addition to this, we commit to spend a large amount of marketing costs especially in the first 3 years, to make our product known and to build the awareness of people. So our marketing cost is actually up 15% of the revenue.
And we also want to tap on our advantage as we want to project our image as a social responsible and environmental awareness. So we try to make ourselves have a lot of public appearance so that people will know more about our company and our concept. And we believe that the awareness of environmental problems are being known to more people in Vietnam.
So I have a question. Did you look at the winner of the GSVC Eco Fabric from Indonesia? Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so they worked with Habitat for Humanity, and they also worked with a construction company. So do you have any leading partners similar?
Sure, yeah, that is a very good question, because just now we also mentioned about the partnership with other NGO network in Vietnam, so like Habitat for Humanity, and one of the very famous organization NGO in Southeast Asia, which already established a network relationship in Vietnam. So that will be our potential partnership when we really come into the market, in order to introduce the people.
So that's the plan. Do you have any commitments yet from the NGOs or not yet?
Not yet.
I really liked your differential pricing, but I'm wondering, with such a low margin, price competitive product like you have, if there's really going to be any or much difference between your commercial pricing and your cost plus pricing.
Sorry, may you repeat the question again?
Okay, you have differential pricing in which you're selling at one price to the larger commercial builders and another price at the socially conscious low level of the pyramid, but you have such a low margin item to begin with, and then very price competitive market. Is there really going to be much difference between your commercial price and your cost plus price?
Thank you for your question. Actually, for the commercial contractor market, we will price our market according to the market price. But you will notice that for the bottom of the pyramid market, we try to price our product in terms of the whole package. So it's actually not we do not price individual bonus shell concrete. So that is the difference between our two pricing strategies.
One quick question. In your plan, you said coconut shells are an agricultural waste, and a lot of times they're left to rot, but a quarter of your costs in your plan are coconut shells. And so how much, have you got any quotes on how much you would have to pay to get them, or where do these numbers come from?
Well, actually, coconut shell is considered as an agricultural waste from the coconut oil factory. So after they extract the oil and the fiber from the coconut husk, they will leave the coconut shell as a waste. And currently, they're selling off those coconut shells for household to burn like fuel. And some of them will be used as decorations as well. Yeah. But the rest, if not if not being bought, it will be just left next to the riverbanks.
Well, why do you have to pay $900,000 US then for your supply of coconut shells? That's what I was trying to understand.
Because actually we want to establish a connection with our supplier, because we realize that in the future, when our business proves to be successful, other entrants will enter into the market. So we want to establish a good relationship with our supplier. We want to have a win-win solution. So we want to have economic benefit from coconut shell.
Just to quickly follow up on that, so if the coconut shells are waste right now, if you are successful, you might create a market for what is now waste. Do you think that there is a risk that that might increase the price of your inputs and change your the viability, financial viability of this?
Yeah, actually we have considered this factor in our plan. And because the market where we want to build our customer base is also based in the same market where we want to source from our supply, and because of the good image, we want to protect ourselves as a socially responsible and environmental awareness. So we hope that the community will welcome our contact, because we're actually contributing back to the community.
And I just want to add on to a point, one thing that we also expect the results of coconut shells will be increased in the future if we were able to establish market. So we plan to expand our
Time is up.
Yeah, we've already.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks very much.
Sorry, thank you very much. The time is up, and there's some slight changes of rules for the team that does not use up the 15 minutes presentation time. We'll add on the leftover time to Q&A session, and you've just got 2 minutes added on already. Which is good because judges can be more clarified. Thank you very much, ViCoCrete.